Hi there and welcome to episode 2 of the Ticket Punk Gig Review channel. My name's Neil. We've got a very special guest today. With us today is the Petrol. Good morning, Petrol.
How are you, dude? You alright?
Yeah, we are good. So Petrol and I attended a gig recently which we're going to chat about, but first of all we need to let people know a bit about yourself. So what is Petrol? What's your real name? How did this all come about?
My real name's Tarquin. In fact, no, it's Ross. I say Tarquin. I like to see people's reactions.
You got a very Tarquin haircut today.
Yes.
So how did Petrol come about?
I wanted to, like, years ago. I don't know what year, but I wanted to show people. I wanted to show a friend who I worked at the hospital with, like, what I get up to at gigs. So we found a video of a gig in Glasgow on YouTube, and for whatever reason, we just happened to be looking through the comments section. And somebody had wrote a comment describing exactly what I wear. I used to wear this bright orange Las Vegas prison t-shirt. Mm-hmm. It's like every gig, and somebody described that and height and everything. And they'd said, hey, that guy's known as the Petrol. So I was like, really? I am? And then, just as a goof, I went and got, like, the original t-shirt printed out. Like, the original t-shirt has much smaller writing on the front. And then never in a million years imagined it would start picking up like this following.
Yeah. So you have got quite a big following. You're quite well known across the UK.
Yeah.
You lived in England for a while.
Yep.
What, you DJing down there in like metal bars and?
Yeah, in Southampton. Yeah, like the Hobbit.
So you've got quite a lot of followers around the place.
Yeah.
You've got your own Funko Pop.
Yeah, little dude out there. You know, all thanks to somebody. You know,
the wee chap. So we'll stick a little picture of him up there. So we met a couple of years ago, and last year we went to Download together to film your trip to Download.
Yeah.
With my son Finn. The three of us went down, had a blast. That was great fun. The thing I couldn't believe, I knew people were going to come up to you and be like, "Oh, there's Petrol," and all the rest of it. I couldn't believe how much of that happens. If we weren't watching a band, when we were walking between bands,
yeah,
we couldn't go more than 10 feet, and people were like, "Hey, the big man! I saw you here. I saw you there. Can I get your picture?" And you had a little chat with everybody.
Yeah.
And there's loads of that. That's what most of the video is like people coming up because they want to put people in the video so they can see themselves and say, "Oh, I was at Download and met the big chap." Yeah. But how do you feel about it? I mean, it must feel great.
It does. It feels pretty awesome. Yeah.
You're getting bashful now. But no, it was very good. So we'll put a link to your video that went up last week so people can see that. You've just played your first DJ set in Glasgow, Ivory Blacks.
Ivory Blacks, yeah.
Was that last week? How did that go?
It went well as could be, is all I could say. Like, I think they picked what I deemed to be one of the toughest nights to have me on, because it was a kind of doom stoner metal festival on before and of all the genres of metal, that's probably the one I know least about. And they were like, if we could retain some of this crowd, like, it would be really nice. So, I'm more kind of like genres of metal. I'm more kind of like metalcore, deathcore. Kind of that's like where I know like most music from. But you know, with the help of Gordy, shout out to Jesus. He gave me like a little playlist of what would be considered kind of floor fillers in that genre. And you know, I just kind of took little bits and pieces from that throughout the night. I played other bits and other bits and pieces. One of them, somebody came up and asked for Manowar, Warriors of the World, and I didn't have it, but I managed to just get an online version of it, like kind of cheating a little bit. But it turns out it was the country version. So you know,
did you play it?
Yeah, I did. When I blasted that over the PA, you can imagine all these doom stoner metal dudes, like waiting to hear Manowar, and all of a sudden you get you rolling. You know, it was quite funny. Like,
was that a good night? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was lots of fun. Like
probably learned a few things about the place and what goes down well and what doesn't.
Yeah. First
time, yeah. So
yeah,
and you also DJ.
They want me back, so that's.
Well, that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah.
And you DJ at the Dreadnought. You've been there as
well.
Dreadnought
and Bathgate as well. Yeah, I've been there for a few months. Right.
Enjoying that?
Yeah, it's a cool place. It's well known place as well. So we get like a decent enough crowd in every night.
That's good.
I work as a scare actor as well, which is I get paid to scare people.
So tell us a bit about that. What have you done like this year, last year?
Well, last week worked alongside the Glasgow Film Festival. The Arches is no longer a nightclub; it's kind of an eatery place. But they'd set up this they wanted to create this kind of neo-Glasgow environment where it's all like futuristic and apocalyptic. And they hired Scare Scotland to, like, for the most part, be like police officers, like, you know.
Scare Scotland guys are awesome. I've worked with them before. They're amazing. We should probably mention the troll aspect. Could you stand up for us, because you're quite a big dude. Okay. So just right. Move the microphone out of the way. There you go. Ross might disappear out of the camera because you're 6'11".
6'11", yeah.
Right, you can have a seat, Ross. I don't know. We'll see how that comes out. So you obviously, your height and stature goes before you. People like want to be around you. Tell us about what happens in the pit then, because we'll come to that in a minute with Slipknot. But when I the first time I saw you at a gig, like, you didn't have a Pit Troll t-shirt on. I think it was actually Slipknot 2015 at the Hydro.
Okay.
On the Great Chapter tour.
That's right. Yeah, I wore like a tap out shirt.
Yeah. I was there with John and a few others, and two of us went down to the pit for a couple of songs. And just as we got there, they started playing Spit It Out. So we picked the right time, and I've got a little video on my phone. I'll try and find it and stick it in the video. And I just I was at the front of the pit, so I turned around while everybody was crouching down.
Yeah.
And there was this big, massive guy, and I was like, God, he's huge. And years later, we're now mates, and it was you. It was quite funny. I didn't know you then. But, what do you generally get up to at gigs?
Well, I mean, if you want a demonstration, I mean, we've got some padding in the room. We can get like Alex over. We can kind of throw him about a little bit, and, you know. I don't know. Your office might get destroyed, but
but generally,
no, Joe. Like,
the preconception you use that you're this big guy in the pit.
I've found like it's getting better now, but like there was originally this preconception that if you saw me at a gig, I was just going to be like crushing skulls and like taking people out left, right, and centre. And no, it's not like I'm trying to change that perception. If people see me at a gig, then, you know, I'd like to think that, you know, it's going to be a more kind of fun gig. I'll maybe get up to something daft, like carrying people around on my shoulders, like band members or whatever.
Yeah, generally looking after people with the call.
Because I mean, I worked 18 years in like security industry, so like that's something that never really left me. Like, I try and keep an eye on people and make sure they're safe. Like any fights, jumping and breaking them up.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often, but
I just remembered I went to a gig a few years ago. I think it was on my birthday actually. 5 Finger Death Punch at the Hydro.
Yeah.
And the lead singer
Ivan,
spotted you and actually got you up on stage.
Yeah, for sing along. Yeah.
Not many people get asked to go up on stage, but it gave you quite a cool shout out. We'll try and find the video, but that was quite fun. I remember that now. So let's get to Slipknot then. So Slipknot, Glasgow Hydro, January 18th. I think it was actually 5 years to the day. It was 18th of January in 2015 when they played the Grey Chapter, unless I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was Sunday night.
Definitely, it was. Yeah, definitely.
It January, was. So before Slipknot came on, there was a band called Behemoth. We saw them at Download last year, obviously. They were on the same day as Slipknot on the Saturday.
Yeah.
I looked them up. Polish blackened extreme metal is what they've got on Wikipedia. I know Nergal, the singer, doesn't like labels, so he says there's no, we just are what we are.
Yeah.
Pretty dark stuff. I hadn't seen them before Download. Absolutely loved the stage show, the effort they put in. They give such a great performance.
Yeah.
Lots of theatrics. They were announced to support Slipknot. I was really happy. So they were on first at the Hydro. Finn and I, my son, were in early, so we were on the barrier right at the very front. Had a great experience with them. So massive shout out to Behemoth and all their fans. I'm in a Facebook group with those guys, and they're so passionate about the band, like really, really passionate. So they put on a great performance. I know you didn't see them. You missed that.
Yeah, I went to the gig with my brother and his friends, and we not like Behemoth. Like, I'm not going to take any away from their stage show. They put the effort in, but the music, not really my cup of tea. So none of us were particularly fussed about getting down super early to see them. But from what I heard, like they put on a good show, and like they got 70 crowd surfers over the barrier. So like for a support band, that's a pretty good show of appreciation, I think.
So that's something you pay attention to, having worked security and knowing most of the guys in Glasgow. So tell us how they count that, because there's a method they have.
Yeah, usually each end of the Mojo barrier, there's a guy with a clicker. So as somebody's coming over the barrier, they've been caught and they're running back into the crowd, like he'll be clicking them back. So you get 2 scores at the end of the night. Add them up. I've seen you before on your socials saying to people, we've got this gig in Glasgow tonight.
the record is 275. Let's see if we can smash it tonight, and that's always quite fun to hear how that goes.
Yeah.
As a big guy who generally stands near the front and doesn't crowd surf, it gets a bit sore on the neck. But as you've got in your do's and don'ts of crowd surfing,
the do's and don'ts of crowd surfing
video, you say if you're going to go to the front, you're gonna get crowd surfed over. So
like if you're going to stand front and center, you have to be prepared to deal with that. Like occasionally, I still work the barrier as security, catching crowd surfers, and like you occasionally get people moaning, are you not going to do something about this? Well, no, it's the type of gig it is. Like, like if you're going to stand front and center, then you need to be ready to deal with that. I mean, stand a little bit further to the left or right, and it won't be as bad, or stand towards the back. Like,
I mean, I've been going to gigs over 30 years. I know what to expect. So it's
I know that's
the good thing
makes
is
you sound largely really unsympathetic, but
no, I know what I'm signing up for. I love it. I love being down there. And the good thing now is I've been to a few gigs at the Hydro on the barrier, and as what happened at Slipknot, one of the guys was like, I've seen you before, and we had a wee chat, and it's nice to be on good terms with security, because for 2.5 hours I'm going to like have their like they're going to be standing right there pulling folk over. Yeah. So you can grab them and hold them up too and help them out, and you got me rapport going with the security. It's always good.
Well, like on the occasions that I still work the barrier, I'll make a point of like walking up and down and fist bump or high five everyone in the front, and just tell them that what type of gig it is. Like be ready. Like
Yeah, I mean we love being near the front. It's always good. Machine Head at the O2 last year was fantastic. We were just one off the barrier. It was good fun. So to Slipknot. Tell us about you and Slipknot. Where did that first happen? Because I was a latecomer to the show. I mean, you were in back in the day. So how did you get into them?
Slipknot was one of the most influential bands for getting me into metal. Like I vividly remember like having a portable CD before the days of streaming services on your phone, like a portable CD player, listening to the self-titled album. The back of the school bus. And it was surfacing, and it's got that really, really fast, the fast-paced intro.
Yep.
I remember, when Corey Taylor finally screams at you, where I'm not gonna say it on camera because I don't want to get demonetized or anything. But when that part happens, I remember this massive surge of adrenaline and like feeling like I'm gonna smash up the back of the school bus.
It all kicks off, yeah. So mine, I actually didn't get into them till very late. It was 2011. I went to Sonosphere just on the Friday for the Big Four of Thrash because I couldn't pass that up.
Yeah.
Seen them all together. So that was amazing. On the Saturday night, Biffy Clyro were playing, who just aren't my cup of tea. So we decided to go for the Friday only. But Slipknot were headlining the Sunday. And luckily for me, the whole gig was broadcast live on YouTube. So I was back in Edinburgh watching it, thinking, this is amazing. Joey Jordison, as a drummer, I was like, Joey Jordison.
Did he do when the kit gets lifted up and turned around?
Spun round, yeah. But even like his double bass drumming is just so slick and so fast,
Yeah.
On the Friday, in between bands, they kept showing videos on the screens as they do,
Yeah.
and they kept showing the Duality video, and I kept thinking, I know there's these guys in masks, but I don't know too much about them. But that's a great tune.
Yeah.
Went home, looked them up, and then couldn't wait for the Sunday. So I came to the Slipknot party very late, but absolutely love them now. Seen them a few times. I know your brother saw them at the Barrowlands.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
I envy him so much.
So do I.
Because that would have been like one of the shows you have to be. I mean, he came to the Hydro show with me, and he was actually really nervous because he's like, because of that gig, I've had him on such a pedestal, and obviously since that gig, their production's been way stepped up, and but David said he enjoyed the show, but just it still didn't compare to seeing him in the Barrowlands, that first self-titled album.
Yeah, it's never going to.
When they were as raw as they were.
Yeah, they were dangerous, and people didn't know what was going to happen at the show. But whereas now it's all pretty much set list tailored out. We know what's coming. But yeah, a great production. It was super slick.
Yeah.
What came across to me, as it always does when you see Slipknot, is Corey's passion for the fans and how much he wants everyone to enjoy themselves from the front to the back. And he always makes a big point about that. That was really good. My son's a huge Corey Taylor fan and got a little bit of eye contact with him at one point, and had a wee gesture about their masks they were wearing, and that was just that for me made the whole show, because Finn loves that band and he loves Corey. So that was a nice
Yeah.
little moment. Yeah, I mean, they played when we saw them at Download. They only played a couple of songs, but obviously this year, because we were like 6 months later on, they played more from the album. What do you think of the new album?
It's not my favourite Slipknot album. Probably "Birth of the Cruel" is my favourite song from "We Are Not Your Kind."
Right. Okay.
I mean, I loved the song "All Out Life," so I was really like uber surprised when it's not on the album.
Yeah.
You know? I like "Unsainted" as well. I mean, I know everyone says, "Oh, that's like the commercial one," you know, the one. But so what?
Every album needs a single to
Yeah.
release. So no, I like "Saw We First" really blew me away. But "Nero 40" was a song I didn't love at first, but now when they played it live, it was just so good. So I think they played 4 songs from the album, and then they played "All Out Life," which, as you say, wasn't on the album. So 5 new songs, I guess, for the fans, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
There was a controversial omission from the set list. How do you feel about that? Spit it out, not being in there.
I was disappointed because like although I envy David for getting to see them at the Barrows that time. As far as I know, in fact, I know for a fact he's never experienced the whole everybody sit down on the ground and then, you know,
Jump up.
Jump up. Yeah, sorry.
There's a bit of language. There's a bit of language that goes on at the gig, but you won't repeat. But yeah, you basically jump up when Corey shouts.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I've been involved in that like twice. So and it is a really awesome experience. I'm kind of sad that David missed out on that.
Yeah.
But you know, they'll be back around and maybe they'll put it in next time.
Yeah, I think with so many new songs to try and fit, like they put some old school stuff like Eeyore in there as well, which it's a nice wee surprise. But they can't do it all. You can't have it all, you know.
Yeah, and I'm guessing like maybe Corey feels it's overused now because of, you know, I've now, if you remember from that Five Finger Death Punch gig you spoke about, the opening band of Mice and Men, who are friends of mine, they're cool guys. I'm not slagging them off here, but they have a song called The Depths, and they do exactly the same thing. Everybody get down on the ground and then jump up. Crossfaith in Japan, when they're playing their cover of Prodigy's Omen, they do it. So maybe Corey feels it's kind of getting a little bit overused, and he doesn't want.
Which is fair enough. It was an amazing show. The production, as you say, it was just off the charts. So yeah, a big thumbs up for the Slipknot gig. I'm going to Knotfest at Milton Keynes in August with Finn for his 18th. That's quite an 18th birthday he's going to have. So we can't wait for that and to see what else happens that day, because obviously they haven't announced the lineup yet. They have announced it for the cruise out of Barcelona.
Yeah.
So you got Anthrax are on there. I'm trying to think who else is on that. I can't remember, but we'll put a link up. I remember thinking if most of that lineup come to Knotfest, I'd be very happy.
Yeah, I'd be given that, like, I mean, is the cruise round about the same time, or?
I think it's July or August. Yeah, I can't remember, but it's pretty much going to be.
I'd be uber surprised if there was like any massive changes.
Exactly.
Like all these bands are from the States, and like it can be a task to get them over, to Europe. So
yeah, once they're here, they're probably going to do a few dates. Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. You're going back to Download 2020?
Yes, I'll be there. Yeah.
Yep. Finn and I aren't going this year. We've got a bunch of other gigs to go to. So all down in England. Rammstein, Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
What else are we going to? Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
How can I forget about that?
I envy that. Like,
yeah, it's going to be
good. I sort of live in hope now that the mere fact they've got back together and they're doing these dates in the UK is like they can stay together and come back again, like, because the closest I've got to seeing them is Download 2017 when Prophets of Rage played, and 90% of their set was Rage Against the Machine.
It was amazing,
songs.
yeah.
So like I just remember that being one of the best moments of my life when they played out their opening song, and then Tom Morello just looked around at everybody and struck the opening chords for Testify, and I was just like, and the pit just went insane.
Yeah, I've never seen Rage Against the Machine, and like you, that was my first experience of seeing those guys on stage. And Finn did his first ever crowd surf to Killing in the Name of at Download for Prophets of Rage, so that was quite a kind of moment for him. But no, I'm looking forward to seeing them. John's going as well from Ticket Punks. We couldn't pass it up, but we disagree here. I think this is it. I think they reformed because of the whole Trump thing, and they've got a big bunch of American dates lined up, but they're only doing some certain dates and festivals in the UK. I think this will be it. I don't think we'll see them back.
No more tours, or
not on this tour in the UK. I think this will be their 2 dates. I don't think we'll see them tour the rest of the year, personally.
Okay, yeah, but they're back. They're back together though. So
but they've been back together before.
That gives me hope that they can come back like next year, or like they're talking about download headliners. So that's a big kind of controversy every year, like because they feel like a lot of the headliners are recycled, So come on, get Rage Against the Machine on there, like that's guaranteed to sell at least one of your days out.
That'd
guaranteed.
Be amazing. That would be amazing. You're right. So what's next for Pitro apart from download? What's coming up in the next sort of 6 months for you?
I want to go to Slam Dunk Fest, probably the Leeds date, because it's closest to Scotland. I found out yesterday from Adam, the drummer of Bury Tomorrow, because they're headlining a stage there. While She Sleeps are headlining another stage. I thought they were going to clash, but apparently the set times have been set up specifically between those two stages so they don't clash. So right. I missed both of their most recent shows in Scotland, so I'm hoping to get Slam Dunk Fest and catch both of them.
Right, okay. Not bands I know much about, but...
Yeah, they're the kind of metalcore kind of kings, like UK-wise.
Got you. Okay.
There's I Prevail, another metalcore band that I want to go see. Gigs-wise, it's hard to say. Like, there's always a huge bunch of gigs, announced after download, like your kind of autumn, winter gig. So I can look forward to that. Body Count's a band I would love to come back, because I can't remember when was the last time they played Glasgow.
They played Livingston Forum in about 1993, and I was a massive Ice-T fan and rap fan around that time, and with metal as well. So one of the guys from my office and I went out on a Sunday night to see Body Count, and it was the first time I'd seen Ice-T. I never saw him as a rapper.
I mean, they just released that new album, Carnivore. I've not listened to it yet.
They have, but that was an amazing night. And then we saw them at Download 2018.
Yeah,
2018. We saw them on a Sunday.
That was amazing. I did again Barrier for them when they played 2015.
Right.
Which was really cool.
Yeah,
there's a lot of crowd surfing there.
If they play anywhere in Scotland, we're there, because like that Sunday Download was fantastic. Took me right back. Okay, well that's great. So Ross has his own Pitro YouTube channel, which is going really well. We'll put a few links up to some of your videos. Obviously, your download video just went live this week.
Yep.
Which we recorded, so we're really proud of that. We think it went quite well, actually. It was quite good. So we'll put a link up to that. Obviously, we are Ticket Punks. If you want to join us in our community for £3 a month, look up the website. John and I would love to have you on board. We're going to help you get pre-sales for all the gigs before the Friday. As we said in episode 1, check out episode 1. We'll put a link up for that. Need to say a massive thanks to the guys at creatingtracks.com. They provided the bass traps for the studio now, so we've got a little bit more sound deadening. If you want to find out about music production in general, head to their website and YouTube channel for literally hundreds of tips on music production. They know what they're doing, and they've got about 12,000 followers on YouTube. They're well liked, they're good guys. So a massive thanks to those guys for providing the bass traps. I think that's it for us.
Yeah, I'll just give a massive shout out to the Troll Tribe. Like, thank you for your continued support and love. And yeah, follow Ticket Punks. Like these are cool dudes. Like for the price of a cup of coffee per month, you're gonna get all this valuable insight, and you're gonna beat the rush.
Well, that's it. And we're trying to create a ticket community in the UK, so we're going to keep doing gig reviews. We've got our little chat channel going. We give you links on a Friday to get your tickets for free. We just want the ticket community in the UK to be a lot better than it's been in the past. And basically, there's too many touts and scalpers going about, so we're going to try and combat that.
Don't get scammed. I've been scammed.
I've been scammed too. It's not good. I learned my lesson a long time ago. So that's us for today. I'd like to say a massive thanks to Ross the Pitro, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep it metal.